I haven't been posting to the channel much lately, so I want to get back into the flow by giving you guys a setup tour. Now, I just hit 1,000 subscribers, which is a huge achievement, and now I have the ability to get monetized. So as this channel is actually somewhat successful, I'll try to post more and more on this channel soon. One reason why I haven't been posting on this channel much is because of school. School has taken up a lot of my time lately, and I haven't really had enough time to make these videos, as I have to set up the computer, cameras, lighting. I actually invested in some light boxes, so now my setup will look a bit better, less grainy. So let's get started. Alright, so here is my desk, but it isn't a desk you'd find from IKEA or anything, because this desk is actually a repurposed door. You can see here's a hinge here, or where a hinge would go. Around the back we have holes where the lock and the handle would be, and it actually is the perfect size, because what I've noticed is lots of new desks are quite shallow. They're sort of made for a laptop and maybe a book, but as I use a lot of peripherals as well as my Logitech G27 steering wheel, because I'm playing quite a bit of car games recently, this desk is perfect for me. Talking about the G27, this is my steering wheel. So when I play car games, I have this here, and also I have the manual shifter, and I actually just now I switched the side, so now it's on the left hand side, because I use my right hand to use the mouse, and I don't want to have my mouse all the way over here. So I'll probably need to get a bit more used to using that. I used to have a Driving Force GT, but I didn't really like that because it didn't have a manual shifter and it didn't have the clutch pedal. So, and I used to play Euro Truck Simulator 2 quite a bit. So I don't know, I just really wanted this, and I got it for a present for one of my previous birthdays. So that's pretty awesome. Moving on, let's talk about mice. Now, there's more than just this mice in the house. There are actual lots in the walls. You can hear them scurrying around at night. Anyway, this is a SteelSeries Rival 3. It's actually my passed on dad's mouse. It's actually quite comfortable. It feels really natural in my hand, and it has RGB, which I don't really use. I'm not much of an RGB fan. I do use it sometimes, but sometimes all the flashing lights do distract me from what's on the screen. So next we have keyboard, which is a nice cherry MX Blue, and this is a Keychron K2 wireless mechanical keyboard, but I use it with the wire because this does not have Bluetooth. Speaking about wireless connections in my computer, I have this $10 eBay Wi-Fi receiver, and surprisingly, with the USB 3 interface, it works really well. I use this all the time because I couldn't be bothered to get a motherboard with Wi-Fi or a Wi-Fi card. So I use this and it works great. Good thing this computer has USB 3 front panel. Now, here comes to the audio section. So this is a Steinberg UR22 Mark I, and with the big chunky headphone adapter there. This goes to my microphone that I rarely use, because every time I use it I usually mess something up and then I just delete the recording. So I have it going into the computer via USB, and then it goes out to my amplifier right there, line output, So that goes out to my amplifier. My amplifier is down here. So this is my Kenwood KR-A4060 stereo receiver, and I got this like 2 years ago, and it's awesome. Now, I don't actually have the remote control for this. Well, the actual remote control that did go to this controlled an electric motor, which spun the knob. So, you could effectively, it's like an analog potentiometer controlled by a motor, which is actually quite an interesting concept. Alrighty, now let's go to what powers the speakers, which are Goodman's Maxim 2s. Now, I'm quite uncertain when these were actually made. Some people say 80s, 90s, 2000s. But in the end, they actually sound quite good. You can see we have a tweeter, which is a Mylar tweeter, and a 5-inch or something rubber surround woofer. And if we go to the back, it has the nice premium quality terminals there. And these actually, when you have these at a low volume, they don't sound very good. But once you turn them up, the bass really comes in and it sounds really, really nice. And here is my microphone. It's actually my dad's, but he is lending it to me. I think it's made by Nude Electronics, and it's a replica of a really expensive mic, but this actually still does have a tube in it, and the cable's a little iffy, so I had to use zip ties to kind of close the gaps. But it does work quite well on my voice, personally. It sometimes sounds a little like crisp for my liking, but I reckon it's pretty good. It's better than the cheap microphones you get from the $2 shop. The monitor. It's also from my dad. He gave it to me. It's a 27-inch 1080p AOC, or I used to think it was NOC, but it's AOC monitor, and it's not that bad, even though it's really old. The sort of, you can see it's not all the way to the edge, but it does look quite nice. This is my computer, and that GPU fan on startup is horrendously loud, but once it's started, it never gets as loud as that. So there we go. And doesn't look too bad. Like if you go up here, it actually looks really good if there wasn't the big glary lights on it, but it's good for me. And here is the computer. Now if you want to actually see a build for this computer, there'll be one up there. I posted it like a couple of months ago, and I really enjoyed building this. It has 32 gigabytes of Corsair RAM, a Ryzen 5 3600, and a GeForce RTX 2070 Super. And altogether, this is a really solid system, and I'm really happy with the outcome. The one thing I'm not happy with it though is the stock cooler noise. So if I load up Minecraft, everyone complains about how noisy Intel coolers are, but they never get as loud as this. So there's my computer. Now I'm thinking of getting better cooling for it, because right now it has one rear case fan and no intake fans, so it's a little bit iffy there. And the AMD stock cooler is quite noisy and it does get a bit toasty. But apart from that, it's a pretty solid system. I have maybe a bit of an overkill 850 watt power supply in here, and this case is quite awesome. Has these removable magnetic covers which filter the air a little bit, not too good, but it does the job, sort of. But first I'm going to discuss the future of this channel. So what currently is on this channel is a couple of reviews and a couple of destruction videos. But what I actually want to aim for in the future is projects, like more of building computers and maybe even just vlogs of things I find on the hard rubbish and taking apart things, sort of. That's what is going to be on this channel in the future. I'll still do reviews because it's quite fun, but it also requires me to have new computers constantly coming into the house, which is a bit difficult because computers are expensive and hard rubbish is every once a year, and you'd be lucky to even find anything good with that. You know, school definitely does get in the way with making these videos, but it is actually the school holidays for me in Australia, so I'd recommend subscribing right now and hitting that bell button so you get notified when I post new videos. Ones that you might enjoy, that's all up to you, but I'll keep trying my best to keeping my viewers entertained, and I'll see you in my next video.